All right. So in today's lecture, we are going to look into the MOSFET IV model from different perspective, different approach. Okay. And as you will find out soon that these approaches are essentially simpler than the previous one. But probably in some of the textbooks, you are going to see these approaches. And I will be indicating like what are the drawbacks of each of these approaches so that you understand like which modeling approach is better and so forth. Okay. So in our previous lecture, we had already seen that inversion charge modeling, right? So the initial part is kind of given over here. I have repeated for as a sort of revision. So from the potential balance equation, we are essentially having this relation. So Vox is equal to VGB minus VFB minus phi s. This is what we know. Charge balance equation, Q depletion is equal plus Q inversion is this. Okay, so from there we obtain the Q inversion the way which we have done in the morning in the previous lecture. Now from this potential balance, we are going to replace this Vox over here. That's what I've put over here. Okay, and then Q depletion expression is this one. Okay, we have derived this in the previous lecture. So once we have this, we have to always keep in mind that the surface potential is 2 phi f plus VSB plus V, where this V is essentially dependent on the VDS value. Again, just to keep things in perspective, remember that the Y is the vertical is in the vertical direction, defining the vertical field, and X is along the channel, defining the lateral field. Okay. So the Q inversion is equal to this relation. I have just replaced phi s by this formula, this value, this expression in both cases. Okay. This was similar to what we have done in our previous lecture, nothing new. But where it is getting changed is here. Notice in our previous approach, what we did was we simply put one integral here. Remember Q inversion dV. Okay. Now in the previous lecture, let me um, in the previous lecture, okay, let me show it. It's better. Right. Okay. This is our previous lecture today in the morning. So this was approach one. So in the approach one, first approach, what we did was we directly tried to integrate the Q inversion uh, expression. Okay. So this was what we integrated straight away. All right. So here, what we did was we did not bother about whether the variation of the potential along the channel was specifically uh, where is it gradual channel or not. Okay, so there was no gradual channel approximation in this approach, and as a consequence, you can see it is slightly more hectic. Here, if you notice, we are essentially making use of the gradual channel approximation. How? Notice that this was the expression which we had used previously, so that is not something new, right? Here is the expression of Q inversion. That's what we have done here also. Okay. Now what we are doing is, like the previous lecture, I have put 2 phi f plus VSB since it is larger than V outside the bracket, and basically we are ending up with this one. This was until this step, it was similar to the previous one. Now, here I will apply the gradual channel approximation. So if it is a gradual channel approximation, we are essentially assuming that the vertical field, okay, the variation of the vertical field is much higher than the variation along the lateral field. That was the long channel approximation as well. So when it is gradual channel, what we are assuming is that the variation of the voltage V, the contribution V due to the VDS voltage, is very low compared to 2πf plus VSB. As a consequence, we can make this approximation. So half to the power half becomes half over here and this. So what is this? This is again Taylor's expansion. Okay. So once we have that, then where is the gradual channel approximation coming into the picture? Notice that you are not ending up with any V squared term as it was in the case in the previous case. So in the gradual channel approximation, you are having this V here and this V here, no V square. In our previous lecture, you will notice that we ended up in this V square because of this integration. Okay. In this case, you are directly getting in terms of the V. Now, what we have done is we have simply rearranged these terms. Notice that this is anyway minus COX is here. Now, the first term, it is multiplied by 1, right? So I'm going to divide it by minus COX, and this minus is essentially taken outside this second bracket. So this whole term becomes the VT, and the other term is minus capital V, thanks to this one, minus V. So that is 1 plus, and this term over here. Remember, this is a plus and this is a minus. So here is a minus and there is a minus. Okay. 1 plus this. Now, again, if we do the cancellations, what we get is minus COX VGS minus VT. This whole second bracket is VT, as you can clearly see, minus V into 1 plus. You take epsilon SI out and COX in the denominator, you are ending up in, again, remember, this is the depletion width, which we have seen in the previous lecture. And this is what we get. Now, in the previous lecture, we had also told that this 1 plus CSI by COX is the body effect parameter, because CSI by COX is nothing other than the body sensitivity, right? So finally, what we end up in is this Q inversion. That inversion charge, Q inversion, is equal to minus COX, VGS minus VT minus, so this is VGS, see here, VGS minus VT minus this 1 plus COX CSI by COX. So this one is small m. Okay. So I've just put minus MV. So this is a very important um, expression for the inversion charge, which, as you can clearly understand, it is a function of V. Therefore, it is a function of X as well. So the inversion charge inside the channel simply varies with respect to the distance X. Okay. All right. So how to obtain the ID? Now I will get back to the original master equation and I will integrate this Q inversion. So mu n Cox W by L, this minus and this minus will cancel. So mu n Cox W by L. And here you will be getting VGS minus VT minus MV integral of dV. Very simple. So as you can clearly see, it takes half a page to derive this equation, whereas the previous one took around 1.5 pages. Okay, this is much simpler. So what is the approximation we have chosen over here is the gradual channel approximation, right? If you can notice here, this is gradual channel because this expression, you can clearly see that the inversion is proportional to minus CR minus MV. So it is proportional to V, applied voltage. Okay, so that means it's something similar to what I have drawn over here. Okay, now even more simpler approach, probably this is what you have studied in your BTech. Okay, so this is MOSFET IV modeling approach number 3. Okay. But as you will notice that this is kind of very crude modeling. This is good enough for the basic, microelectronic devices, but it doesn't include the very important factor, which is small m. And in the next class, we will see that small m has got serious implications in terms of modern day technology. Okay, we will look into it later. Now, here is your microelectronic MOSFET. Okay, not nanoelectron, not nanoscale per se. Okay, so here is your MOSFET here. Okay, now notice that you are essentially getting a trapezoid over here. It's not a parallelogram, it's a trapezoid. Okay, now if it is a trapezoid, remember it is a 3D structure. I'm just showing the cross section. It's a trapezoid. Then the influence of the gate bias, that the overdrive, let us say the overdrive at the source and channel junction is VOV. As I said, the influence of VDS over here is 0. Vx is equal to 0. Okay, and on the drain side it will be, the overdrive will be VOV minus the VDS. So this is your VDS, this is your ground. Okay, now if you are thinking in terms of the trapezoid, a perfect trapezoid, so a trapezoid means that this is a straight line, right? So that means it is a perfect case of gradual channel approximation, the way I have told you. That means the variation of the channel, okay, although we are showing it in the form of as if the channel thickness is changing, can anybody tell me what is exactly changing here? It is a pictorial representation of something else, because in reality, as I told you, the MOSFET channel is exactly a charge sheet, right? So it's a charge sheet. It will not have any thickness like that. But in all the textbooks everywhere, you will always find this kind of a diagram. So what is changing?
Resistances.
No,
Resistances, sir.
no, 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 no. Think. I've discussed it in the morning.
The surface charge is changing.
No, no. Definitely surface charge, but uh, what is changing here? As you can see, the thickness is changing, but is it the thickness? No, because technically speaking, it is always a surface phenomenon, right? So thickness will be everywhere y inversion or 1 or 2 nanometers. It's almost exactly on the
Phi
surface
S
itself.
surface
No,
potential.
yeah, phi s definitely, but so but what is surface potential has got to
V
do
of
with the
X.
VDS. Yes, yes. But I'm thinking about even more fundamental. Remember in the morning I
So
told you something
depletion
like
weight,
N1, huh? Sorry.
sir, depletion weight is changing.
Yes, sir. Drift is
I,
changing, then the concentration will
concentration is actually
change.
representing the concentration. Whoever just
Sir,
commented on the depletion, no? We later on we will see that the depletion charge, the depletion region will be more in the drain side than the source side.
uh,
Why?
excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Hello.
Sir, so you took this thing and you proved that current is constant, but this
Yes,
itself came
yes.
from current densities are equal at the both of the source and drain sides. No, so how this came? I mean,
No, 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 no,
that
no.
I
No,
didn't
this is
understand.
N1 and N2 are the electron concentration. As I am telling you, for example, if you're speaking about the depletion, somebody had pointed out, and that's a very good question actually. The depletion will be somewhat like this. So the depletion region is actually more in case of the drain region, less in terms of the source region. So what N1 and N2 is basically the concentration of the free electrons in the channel. Okay? So that means if N1 is larger, so N1 is basically the source, N2 is the drain. Okay? So if N1 is 1 is the source, 2 is the drain, let us say. So in the region 1, this is region 2. Okay. In the region 1, when the electrons are just entering into the channel because of diffusion, which is the magnetic carrier injection from the source to the channel. So these electrons which are here, let us say, okay, these electrons are effectively having a very, very low voltage. So VDR1 is less, number of electrons is very high. Then when the electrons are traversing more towards the drain side, here electrons are very less. So N2 is less, but the drift velocity is very high. Why drift velocity is very high? Because the electrons are getting accelerated because of the lateral field. Clear? Now, so second corollary of this is what we have discussed in the previous lecture itself. So coming back to our original question, what does this represent? This is representing the free electron concentration. Okay? So that means N1 here is larger than N2 over here. Okay, so you can pictorially represent the gradual decrease in the free electron concentration as we go along the source to the drain side by this tapering channel thickness. But please remember that it is not exactly the channel thickness in the question. The reason why I'm trying to explain this specifically in this class is because in IITs also, in IIT Kharagpur, the PhD scholars did not know this. Okay, when I was there for the interviews and all that, in the evaluation as well. So this is essentially a representation of the free electron concentration in the channel. Please understand that it does not represent the thickness of the channel. Okay, this is something very fundamental, because channel thickness is almost zero everywhere because it is a charge sheet approximation. Okay, so keep that in mind. So once I've explained this, then one of you had just explained that this is representing the depletion region. Actually not. What happens is, you will notice that we will see later that the depletion region is more. Okay, depletion region thickness is more in the drain region than in the source. Why? Because the total charge should remain the same. So the amount of charge here at this point should balance the N1, which is more, and the number of boron ions over here. Since N1 is much larger, then the boron concentration, that means the depletion charge over here has to be less. Okay, so the depletion layer thickness towards the source side is less. Okay, but as we go along towards the drain side, here at this point of the gate terminal, what is happening? You are going to have N2, which is very less because of the VDR2 is increasing, so N2 is less. So where will the extra charge, negative charges come, so that it is going to balance the positive charges on this side of the gate terminal? It has to come from the depletion charges. Okay, now again, something important, whether this charge on the gate terminal will it be equal to this charge of the gate terminal, this part of the gate terminal? Answer is yes, because remember, the gate terminal is of metal. So that means if you are applying Vg over here, this is also going to be Vg, this is also going to be Vg. So throughout the gate terminal, you are going to have the same amount of charges equally spread out throughout the metal terminal. So meaning, what does it imply? It implies that if there are, let us say, some x coulombs of charges on this side, you are also going to have x charges of x coulombs on this side. However, if this x will be balanced more by the free electrons, less by the depletion charge, here it will be more by depletion charge, less by the electrons. Okay, and this is the reason why you have a phenomenon called saturation. We will look into saturation and pinch off after some time. Got it, everybody? Huh? So depletion, this triangle doesn't represent depletion. Depletion is in fact just the opposite. More depletion towards the drain side, less depletion towards the source side. Okay, this is representing the free electron concentration. Very good. So now if we take the case of a simple trapezoid, then what is the average potential which is influencing over here? On the region 1, that means source channel junction, you are having VOV as overdrive. On the drain channel junction over here, you are having VOV minus VDS. So what is the average? This is the simplest method of getting this relation, because when you are going for the interview, if you forget the surface potential based modeling, this is, by the way, called the charge based modeling. So I'm not going into, I know even more complicated and more detailed modeling, but I am not going into this for this course. So this is something very popular at the BTech level. This is what you will find in Cedra Smith. So when I'm teaching the BTech students, sometimes I go by this one, especially for the circuits course, circuits like courses, I'll often explain by this. So if you're taking the average here and there, so ये average कैसे ले सकते हो? A plus B by 2, that can be taken only when the variation is linear. Okay, so this average हम ले रहे हैं, मतलब divided by 2 कर रहे हैं, that means it is a gradual channel approximation. So approach 3 as well as approach 2, these are valid only for GCA. ठीक है ना? Huh? So when we will see later on for short channel devices, short channel devices में this approach 3 will not even be applicable. I will tell you why. Okay. So Cedra Smith is all about microelectronic circuits. So 350 nanometer technology, 500 nanometer technology, that is 0.5 micro technology. Okay, this is good enough. But when you are speaking about 10 nanometer technology, then this is not going to work. This is total cross. Okay, so I'm just mentioning this many times. I'm repeating this so that you get to know the difference very well. Okay, so this is only valid for large channel devices, and it will become clear in a minute. Achha, so this is an average. Average means you are taking a GCA, gradual channel approximation, and it will turn out to be VOB minus VDS by 2. What is the charge inside this trapezoid? Because remember, this is the, what is this charge? This is going to be the inversion charge only, right? Because I'm trying to find out the charge wave. So that charge will be equal to the total gate capacitance, will be WL into Cox multiplied by the average voltage in the inside the inside this trapezoid, which is VOV minus VDS. Okay, so this is the gate capacitance CG into the average voltage. Okay. Now, what is the charge per unit length? I will simply divide it by the channel length, capital L. That is, there is one L here, so W into Cox VOB minus VDS by 2. अब यहाँ पर drift velocity क्या था? Drift velocity was given by VDR is equal to mu n into VDS by L. देखो कितना आसान है ये वाला, कोई इंटीग्रेशन भी नहीं है. Mu n into the lateral field. Lateral field is VDS, the voltage across the two ends of the channel, divided by the channel length, VDS by L. Mu n into VDS by L is the drift velocity. Now all I'm going to do is current ID. How is it defined? I'll put here 3. So that means it is how it is defined. It is defined by the total charge divided by the time taken to shift that total charge. Okay. So instead of this T, I am dividing Q by L, and this is L by T, where capital L is the channel length. So capital Q with the mod divided by L is basically this term, mu n Cox VOV minus VDS by 2. And capital L by T, what is this? This is nothing but the drift velocity. You know? Matlab, it is taking T amount of time to move through a distance of capital L. That is the drift velocity only. So I have multiplied by mu n VDS by L. So that gives you mu n Cox W by L VOV minus VDS by 2 into VDS. Correct? So as you can clearly see, this derivation is a 3-line derivation. Very, very simple. But it does not take into account any of the complexities of the MOS device. So that means you end up in the same equation, but even the body effect parameter is missing. And you will see in the subsequent classes that small m is going to be important for subthreshold characteristics. यहाँ पर तो subthreshold का कोई concept ही नहीं है. Because this approach of modeling begins with the idea that there is already a trapezoidal channel embedded, as if it is embedded inside the device. Correct? So you cannot get any idea about all the intricate regions of operation of the MOSFETs. Okay? But approach 3, is it wrong? No, it is correct only. And the final expression is also correct. The only difference is the small m value. So let us understand what is the meaning of small m. Okay, under what condition this small m is equal to 1, so to speak. Now this is what I've written, impact of the body effect parameter small m. Okay, अब ये small m क्या था, याद है ना, 1 plus CSI by COX. It was there in the previous lecture also. So once we are getting small m equal to 1 plus CSI by COX, remember I did epsilon SI by WDM, depletion max. This is epsilon OX, 3.9 into epsilon O by TOX. So these will cancel. This is equal to 3. So let me just put it. Okay, like that. 1 plus 3TOX by WDM. Now, for a large MOSFET where WDM, the width of the depletion region is larger than 3TOX, then we are going to have approximately equal to 1. Okay. And therefore, what is the expression for the WD in the original, this one? The small m is 1, right? So you will be left with the standard relation which you have studied in your BTech with that small m equal to 1 factor. Okay? But when is it valid? For a large MOSFET. So large MOSFET means channel length is in the order of micrometer. समझ में आया? Huh? So when channel length is in micrometers, WDM will be in micrometers. TOX, however, still remains in nanometers. So nanometer by micrometer, that is negligible with respect to 1. So for large MOSFETs, that means microelectronics, micro scale, basically, then this is valid, and as a consequence, this is the relation which you know. Okay? So in your VLSI design, in your analog IC design, you will probably be using this itself. But in advanced VLSI design, I'm often going to take into account this small m. Okay, yes, small m is something later on we will see when we are dealing with the subthreshold. Over there, we will see how small m will affect the subthreshold leakage like anything. Okay, we will look into small m later. Got it? The significance of small m? Because usually all of you are acquainted with this relation. I mean, or else you can even box this. This is the relation which you have used in your VLSI design and all the courses in your BTech and all that. Now we come to the very important concept of saturation region operation. Okay. As I have told you, in the saturation region, there is a phenomenon called pinch off. Okay. Now, why is this pinch off occurring? Can anybody tell me from your BTech understanding? Yeah.
If
Why?
V overdrive is approaching
VDS.
VDS,
Yeah, but why? I'm trying to understand from physics perspective.
sir,
What is pinch off, by the way?
more voltage if we apply. More voltage if we apply at the drain side. Most, I mean, very much depletion layer will be created. So to
No,
compensate the charge
clearly,
there.
one. Mhm. No, one thing is for sure. Like as I have explained here, with this, we are clear that the depletion region will be more in the drain side compared to the depletion region on the source side. Why? Because the electron concentration, the inversion charges or the electron concentration on the source side will be more compared to the drain side. This is the relation. You have understood that, right? So clearly the depletion region will be more in case of the on the towards the drain side. That is for sure. Pinch off is a phenomenon when this channel ceases to exist on the drain side. So I think that is what I wrote here. Beyond the pinch off, the channel ceases to exist. Okay, na? So why does that happen? Because if you are applying more and higher field, lateral field, so VDS you are increasing, what will happen here is that uh, there will be more depletion on the drain side. So if the depletion in more depletion in the drain side, if it goes on increasing, what will happen? you do not even require any inversion. That means any free electrons on the channel side over here, which in order to balance this plus charges on the gate terminal. Okay. So what will happen is that this tapering will increase. It will essentially become somewhat like that. So this region will, I mean, I drew it, I think, yeah. So this region here will not even have any part of the trapezoid. It is essentially going to reduce to a triangle. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, since in this region, this is the pinch off region, within this region, as we can see that there is no inversion charge. So inversion charge का एक मॉडल निकाले थे ना ये वाला. I'll just equate it to 0. That's what I've done here. Q inversion is equal to 0 is equal to minus COX, this entire part. Instead of this VGS minus VT, I'm using VOV. VOV minus MV. MVDS. MVDSAT. Whatever. MV pinch. MVP, whatever you write, doesn't matter. So you are essentially ending up with VDSAT equal to VOV by small m. Again, whenever you say VDSAT is equal to VOV, that is the microelectronics perspective. Okay. So henceforth, try to, I mean, many of you answered that when we are increasing the VDS and that VDS becomes equal to VOV. No, it is becoming equal to VOV by small m. Okay, small m is going to be an important factor in like 45 nanometer technology or even lower. Okay, so basically whenever you are speaking about nanotechnology means less than 100 nanometers. So 90 nanometer itself is a very, very large dimension in modern technology, right? So you cannot, I mean, we will be discussing small m later when we are dealing with the subthreshold leakages and all that. So in subthreshold operation, you will notice that small m is a very, very large value. It's going to be as close as 2, okay, instead of 1. It is 1.8, 1.9 or something. So essentially you can understand that whatever is the VOV, VDSAT is going to be roughly half of that VOV. Can you believe it? Okay, so you cannot ignore this small m anymore. Okay, for short channel devices. So VDSAT is equal to VOV by small m. And as you can gradually see that as we go more and more into the short channel regime, nanoscale regime, you are going to have a completely different ball game, completely different perspective of the devices per se. Okay, so this is VOV by small m. Now all I'm going to do is IDSAT is equal to mu n C W by L VOV minus m by 2. This is the, I mean, the same expression which we had earlier. Okay, which we derived earlier. यहाँ नहीं, ये वाला, ठीक है? Now all I'm going to do now is that instead of this VDSAT, I'm going to put VOV by small m. Small m cancels, and you are left with this relation, which is a saturation current. And as you can clearly see that the moment Q inversion becomes equal to 0, then VDSAT becomes equal to VOV by small m, essentially meaning that VDSAT has become independent of VDS. This is what is important for us to note. Okay. Now, this is the relation which we all know. For large channel devices, yes, small m becomes equal to 1. That is something which we all know very well. Okay. Before we go any further, can anybody, like, I want all of you to kind of discuss what can be physically happening inside the channel because of this. I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is notice that, and by the way, these relations are very simple. I think you know, we are essentially bringing into the channel length modulation parameter. So that is something which you all know. Let me rather discuss about something which you may not know. That is, throughout this discussion, we have been telling that the inversion channel is necessary for the electrons to flow inside the channel, right? So my question is, if there is no channel here, note, please listen to the question very carefully. यहाँ पर कोई channel है ही नहीं, this delta L region में, pinch off region में. then how come the electrons are essentially going? So technically, what we would expect is that the current should essentially be coming over here. After the pinch off is reached, it should essentially go and fall down to zero, right? Because there is no channel. And this is the VOV by M. Obviously, this is your VDS axis, and this is your ID axis. So instead of falling down like that, what we observe, it remains saturated. Question is why?
Sir, drain induced barrier lowering.
That is for short channel. You know? DIBL is
Yes, sir, yes,
basically
sir.
a short
This
channel
question-
effect. I am not speaking about short channel effect. This is going to happen even for a very large device. So it is irrespective of the short channel effect, drain induced barrier lowering.
Because field is
The
lateral field is
electrons-
more, that's why tunneling happening.
Lateral field is more, tunneling happening. Okay, any other answers? Anybody?
Sir, in depletion region, sir, electric field is strong. So, sir, electron will flow due to that.
Yes, very good. But that is only one aspect. Remember, depletion region is there throughout. So why only the pinch off region? You know the answers, but you are unable to tell it correctly. Anybody? Both of your answers are correct, actually. Anybody else, please? Bolo, bolo. Well, make mistakes here, because when you make mistakes, I'm going to rectify it. So this is the best way to learn. Anybody? Okay. I'll now tell you what my professor taught me during my BTech. This is something so that you can visualize it. This is one of the classic things which he told me, like told our class. His name was because Professor Devidas Mukhopadhyay, he has expired when I was abroad. So I was his favorite student anyway. Okay, think about a bus. This is the top view of the bus, public bus. Okay. Now, here is the door. Think about it. You will be amazed at this explanation. And this is exactly what is happening inside the device. Now, this bus is totally crowded. So, let us say these dots are simply the heads of the people who are standing inside the bus. This is a top view, as I'm telling you. Okay, so many people are inside the bus. Okay, this is the bus. And then you suddenly say, okay, I have to get down at some place. Okay. When the stop comes, what is going to happen? Notice that the person who is standing here at the end of the bus, he says that I'm going to get down in the next stop. What does he do? Can anybody tell me? All of you are doing it, I think. Yeah.
He
Kya
has
karte
to
ho?
be ready and he'll come.
But how will he go? It's totally packed.
Sir, he'll get ready. I mean, when he knows.
आप क्या कर सकते हो वहां पर?
So repulsion.
Repulsion, come
Maybe
on.
talking or pushing them and
Pushing. Okay. What is a better way of doing it? What is a smarter way of doing it? How will you get down the bus in the next stop? This person is simply going to ask his neighbors over here, hello, are you going to get down in the next stop? He says no. This says no. This person says yes, I'm also going to get down in the next stop. Then the first person over here, he's happy because he knows he simply has to follow this fellow. Now this person he is also going to ask among his neighbors, किसी को उतरना है क्या? Then he will find that okay, मुझे उतरना है somewhere here. He is also going to ask somewhere in his neighborhood, not behind but in the front, which is closer to the gate, किसको उतरना है? He will say मुझे उतरना है. He will ask मुझे उतरना है. And this fellow will find this one. 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 Okay. So one after another, every person is going to find out who is going to get down in the next stop. Okay. Like this, it will go. And finally, there are some experts in India. There will be a bunch of people who will be standing on the gateway who will be getting down on that stop. We have seen that, right? These fellows, they don't bother to get inside. They will always be hanging on the door of the bus so that they can get down first. Okay. Now, what is the trajectory of this person when he wants to get down? क्या होने वाला है? He is not going to push hard with the people who are not going to get down. Just imagine. Easiest way for this person is becoming a Dara Singh or Bahubali and throw everybody down and get down. But that is a foolish way of doing it. Everybody is going to kill him basically. What he is going to do is, he is coolly going to wait until the previous person is getting down. Because when the bus arrives at the destination, what is going to happen? The first 3 or 4 fellows who are hanging on the door, they will be getting down first. So, यहाँ पर खाली हो गया. Okay, so let's say this is the situation now. This is the door, and these 3 fellows have gone down. So what will happen is, now this fellow comes out. I put it in red. Once this fellow is getting down, then here he will find a empty space over here. So he will occupy his space and essentially come down through that. And this continues. Okay. Now, if this happens, what will happen? What it means is, the other people who are standing here, they don't have to get down in this stop. They are, of course, they will find some collision, scattering and all that. But still, these fellows who are standing, who are not getting down in this stop, what they will do is, they will patiently wait there. And these fellows, they will essentially go on telling, excuse me, madam, karte karte nikal jayega. But without disturbing these people very much. They are anyway standing wherever they were, because they are actually following the trajectory of the previous person. Got it, everyone? Can you visualize the situation? So after that stop has gone, this entire red, the people whom I have symbolized with the red, all of them will be able to getting down. The only thing is that the bus driver has to wait there until and unless the entire bunch has gone. Correct? Yes or no? समझ में आया? This is what we do in our real life. Now, in case of electrons, what happens? Notice that one of you said that the depletion region is more, so the field will be more. In fact, that is correct. But the only difference what you missed to say is that this N plus region is full of electrons. And this is also having a few electrons over here. Okay. So now comes the first explanation. So there are several theories about this current conduction even under saturation. So the first theory for the current conduction is this, following the bus analogy. What is happening is, there are a lot of electrons here. Okay. Somebody has a question? Yeah. Tell me.
Yes, sir. So, in the bus example, there will be a hole created by that particular electron. So that hole will be occupied by the next coming electron. So, but here in the depletion region, all are occupied with, B minus ions will be there throughout the
No.
region.
This
So
B minus
there are
ions
holes.
will be the cause of scattering. As I told you, there will be some resistance there. Some people will give you gali also because you are disturbing them. Okay, somebody will shout that if you have to get down so early, why did you even bother to go and stand at the very end of the bus? Many people will say many things, but still, it is possible for you to get down. I am not, what you have said is correct. There will be B minus ions. B minus ions will be definitely there in case of the depletion region. Depletion region means B minus ions. So the B minus ions will be the source of the resistance offered during the saturation region. That is exactly what you determine by the R on resistance in your circuits. Remember, you have got the R on, right? On resistance of the device. So that is what is happening here. Okay, and that scattering phenomenon is that electron ion scattering, B minus ions, and these electrons which are moving over here, that scattering will give you the resistance. Okay, na? That is what you determined with R on resistance, and that is how you designed your VLSI design circuits. Okay, now the problem is that how does it even move? The question is like, यहाँ पर जो holes create हो रहे हैं ना, where are the holes being created here? So that is what I'm going to explain now. Notice that over here, first thing that is going to happen is, one of you said, right, the field will be more. Okay, the reason is that, notice, although this delta L I have shown in a very much how should I say, and it's an exaggerated way of showing it. Remember, this delta L is much smaller than capital L. Okay, so if this delta L is much smaller than the capital L, the pinch off region is much smaller, what will happen is the two ends of the depletion region. So kya ends hain? Like, one depletion end is this n plus region boundary, the other one is here. So this distance is much larger than this distance, but still these distances are no match for the distance between this channel region and this. And remember, in the channel region we are having a lot of electrons. Okay, so here, so infinite supply. So in this region, the field is going to be very high. Very high, kyun? Because remember, so why is it very high? Because the moment the pinch off happens, okay, you remember you are anyway applying the voltages at these two terminals, n plus region, correct na? So we were essentially having this VDS by capital L. यहाँ कहीं तो मैंने लिखा था, right? In approach 3. Yeah, look, this is VDS by capital L. This is true when it is in this situation, in this regime, that is active region. Okay. When in the saturation region, active region means basically ohmic. Okay. In the saturation, that is the pinch off region, what is happening is that since these are having this channel region, this part, this red triangle region, this triangle region, okay, this triangle region is having free electrons. So the amount of voltage or the potential drop in this region is going to be very less compared to the potential drop in the delta L, because they are not having any mobile carriers. Mobile carriers यहाँ पर है, ठीक है, यहाँ पर नहीं है. As a consequence, delta L is going to be very small and the voltage is going to remain roughly the same. So if you have applied a VDS here and you have grounded this part, then almost the entire VDS is going to drop across this delta L, unlike the previous case where VDS was dropping across this capital L region. Okay. Now, so what we understand here, in this region, your FX is very, very high. So if the lateral field is very high between these two ends, then this field will be high enough to basically induce tunneling between these two terminals. So I think Ashok told about tunneling. So the first phenomenon that happens is there is a depletion region, and since this delta L, the pinch off region is very small, so the field inside this depletion region here along this axis in the pinch off region is going to be so high that it is going to initiate tunneling between these small region. Okay. Now, second thing that is you have to think about it is that ये tunneling तो हो रहा है, लेकिन tunneling के लिए you need to have enough energy for the particle, right? तो particle energy कहाँ से आ रहा है? Can anybody tell me? Look into this relation. Initially, VDS was very close to 0. N1 was kind of infinite. Of course, that was the source region. फिर सोर्स के साथ हम यहाँ पर जैसे जैसे जा रहे हैं, more and more as we are traversing closer towards the drain end, what is going to happen? Notice that your N is decreasing and VDR is increasing. So in the pinch off, what we notice is that here we are not going to, I mean, the channel has stopped. So number of free carriers should be technically 0. Come on. Does it ring a bell? If N2 tends to 0, what will be the VDR value? N1 VDR1, which is the finite quantity divided by 0, will be closer to mathematically it will be infinity, right? It should be infinity. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Yes or no? Huh.
Sir, VDS will saturate and then conductivity saturates at this point of time.
Excuse me. Huh. So notice that we have VDR2 is going to go towards infinity. Okay. So that means we are essentially thinking that the drift velocity towards us, as I have already discussed, that since N1 is going to be larger than N2, VDR2 in this region is going to be larger than VDR1. So as the electrons are moving more and more towards the drain side, it is getting accelerated. Okay? Lekin technically, when it is under pinch off region, what is going to happen here? The VDR should go to infinity, right? Which is not possible. Why? Because this VDR equal to infinity is being limited by the scattering phenomena over here. Remember, one of you told that there will be B minus ions over here. I know the ions will be here because this is the depletion region, and depletion region is more in the drain side. Remember. So here, for example, there is no channel only. So if there is no channel, obviously the entire charge on the gate is being balanced by the depletion charge only. ठीक है ना? तो depletion charge ही वहां पर ज्यादा है मतलब completely. So in this region, imagine like the gate charge, the charge on the gate terminal is completely balanced by the depletion region, क्योंकि यहाँ पर तो inversion है ही नहीं. Correct? So if there is a depletion charge, what will happen? Those depletion charge means immobile boron minus ions, they are going to scatter these electrons. So what is going to happen? This VDR going to infinity will be restricted only to what? The maximum velocity that is possible, VDR saturation. Exactly. Clear? So remember when we were dealing with the mobility versus field expression, yaad hai? We had this VDR sat, and we saw that this is going to go up, and from here it is going to saturate. Ye saturation tha na? This was the critical field FC. Remember? So that means this FC is exactly what you are achieving when you are having a pinch off. So when you are having a pinch off, this Fx, the field in the pinch off region, actually reaches this FC value, and this VDR unit was centimeters per second. Okay? And this was volts per centimeter. Okay, so beyond this FC, the drift velocity is going to saturate to VDR sat. Okay, so what will happen is, and why is this drift velocity getting saturated? It is because of the scattering phenomenon, and the scattering is happening because of the depletion charges here. Do not forget that there are depletion charges. Okay, now comes the bus analogy. So what are the things we have observed? Number one, depletion charges are more, and number of carriers are not less, 0 only. So now the question is, all these electrons, so innumerable number of electrons are essentially gushing towards here. Pura ekdam accelerate karke idhar aa gaya. So once they have reached at this spot, then it is going to go for tunneling. So ek baar jab tunneling ho raha hai, means like the bus analogy, it is essentially creating one vacancy here. Okay, एक tunnel हो गया, एक vacancy हुआ, then the next person goes, next tunneling हुआ. Okay, so what is happening is your velocity is going to be the highest possible. I'm not saying infinity anymore, because of the practical solid state material restrictions. Because of scattering, material scattering, you are going to get drift velocity saturation. So what is going to happen here, that you are going to have the maximum velocity possible for the electrons to tunnel through. Correct? Once the electron is tunneling, it is essentially creating a vacancy. So the next electron will again, आपको अगले इसमें उतरना है, हाँ उतरना है, okay, then the electron will come here. Understood, right? So the same analogy like this, it doesn't mean that the electrons are going in a straight line fashion. No, it is again going like the bus analogy only, but this person will move only when there is a vacancy created in front of him. It's the same thing that is happening here. Okay, so electrons will be traveling like drift over until this, but in the pinch off region, it will be simply tunneling because of the very high electric field, and that the energy of the particle is also very high. Don't think in terms of the number of electrons, but think in terms of the drift velocity. Drift velocity is very high. So half mvdr square. So over here, the kinetic energy of the electrons are the maximum possible inside the material, because your drift velocity is maximum. Got it, everybody? Right? This is very, very interesting and important. Okay. So now the rest of the things are very simple. Okay. I'll just so after this pinch off happens, what we have observed is that the effective channel length is now reduced, L minus delta L. ठीक है ना? तो मैंने W by L के बदले में W by L minus delta L लिखे हैं. All I've done is everything remains the same. 1 minus delta L by L. I have taken this L out. Okay, so to the power minus 1, again Taylor's expansion, power series expansion. This minus 1 comes in the front, plus delta L by L. Since the pinch off region delta L is much smaller than capital L. Okay. Again, another thing, remember that I have shown it as a triangle over here. That means again it is a gradual channel approximation. Okay, just here. So now remember, this delta L by L is proportional to VDS. So from there you will essentially get the idea about the early voltage. Okay, and the remaining part, you know, it is something very simple. So that is how you get the concept of I mean, if you are having this part, I think all of you know from your BTech. It is like this. You simply bring it over here. This is going to be your minus VA. Okay. Okay, is this part clear, everyone? Any questions? I'll just stop here today. Since morning, I was really, my head is paining actually. So that is the reason why, even if you are having no channel, still you are not going to have a decrease in the current. Rather, current will remain the same, because those electrons will move by tunneling inside the pinch off region. Tunneling, why? Because the electric field will reach or cross the critical field here, and as a consequence of that, the drift velocity will increase to the maximum velocity possible, that is VDR sat. VDR sat, remember what was that value? It was in the order of 10 power 7 centimeters per second. Almost 1/10 the speed of light. Okay, so that is the velocity which we are talking about. Okay, very good. So that is really intense. So we have essentially found out 3 different approaches for developing the model for the MOSFET IV modeling. This is the simplest one, but valid only for large channel devices. This is with the charge sharing model. The first one was the surface potential based model. That was approach 1. So today we have finished all of them. 1, 2, 3. In the next class, we are going to begin with, let us say, let me see, either subthreshold or capacitance modeling. Probably capacitance modeling will be important. Okay, so now we are going to go into deeper, like the capacitance models. then VT roll-off. Then we will go for the let us say subthreshold, subthreshold. And after that, we are going to look into scaling theory. Okay, and in the scaling theory, what are the issues, and then their solutions. Okay, thank you so much for joining.